All right. Cool. Welcome, guys. I will say at the beginning, that's hopefully the last I'm gonna move, and then my camera will just focus in on me instead of zooming around. If you don't want to get recorded, you're welcome to kill your video or drop out of the meeting. Chad was the first to join, and we had talked about some. I actually don't know what it is he wants coaching, but I texted him, and I know he wants something, and we missed connection, so it's going to be fresh for me too. Just before we dive in, I am going to introduce what this is. You're at the Time Alchemy workshop. This is our second, what we call a workshop. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have workshops at lunch. Tuesdays we call workshops. Thursdays we call cookbooks. Tuesdays, all we're doing is spending about 45 minutes with one person, usually the first person to show up, unless someone messages me and says, I really want to work on something. And then 10 to 15 minutes of Q&A at the end where we can kind of freeform discuss. These are recorded and these are on our community. So mostly I'm talking to you, people on the community. If you're watching this because I sent you the link, join up, say hi, and come kick it with us. Talk about time. That's it, unless I'm forgetting. Tyler, did you want to add anything to announcements?
Well, if for people that like to keep coming back, and you were the subject of the week before, we can do a quick review, see if your tests that you ran, how they went for that week. So since Eric, you came back for more, if you want, we can chat on how things went for you last week to kick things off before we go deep with chat.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
muted.
yeah. Eric, if you want to, maybe a head nod or unmute and
Yeah, there we
dive
go.
in.
Yeah, no, it went really well. I was still surprised at like how hard it was to still do, but
Yeah.
I was able to do it at least 4 times.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I found a nice hack, which was playing Beat Saber on my Oculus for like a few minutes to get my body warmed up and like ready to go, and then move into the yoga, get some gaming
Awesome.
time in besides. Yeah. Uh, and then getting the sleep consistency under control. I can share some more stuff on that in the next call. But yeah, no, everything has been going really well.
Excellent.
It's really
Yeah, that's
helpful.
great to hear. Stoked to hear it. That's a really good point that it's surprisingly hard even when we set easy goals. And this is why we emphasize, like, as I said in the newsletter, and I think I'm gonna probably say every workshop because it's so counterintuitive, is the system is predicated on a very simple pattern, set a very easy goal, be strict with the definition, and flexible with the execution. So Eric, you nailed it where you had an easy goal. It's like do yoga 3 times in a week. Sounds very easy, but it's actually, we find out like even the easy goals, there's all these little things we need to tune and fix and like deal with that come up. Our resistance bubbles up. And then flexible with the execution, that's pretty rad. It's like I wouldn't have planned for you to play Beat Saber before doing yoga, but that's a rad execution. It's like that's the flexibility. So thanks for
Yeah,
making my job easy. Uh,
happy to
emphasizing
help.
the points. I appreciate it. Sweet. Let's dig in then. Chad, the floor is yours. Tell us about what you got going on, my dude. Thanks for calling in. Hey, caller.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Big follower of the show. Appreciate it. Uh, this one's a little different. So, for the audience watching and for Eric, I was a part of. Can I mention Sophonaut
Of
on
course,
this?
yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So, I was an early person in Sophonaut that helps people, dial in what they're trying to do and figure out. Mine was my sleep schedule, exercising, and then having time after work to like do things and live. So I finally got that all dialed in. Basically, the cheat code was to get to bed by like 10 or 11 p.m. so then I
Nice.
can be up by 6. And then when I'm off work by 3, I just go straight to the gym and I'm able to put in about 2 hours. And then I'm done with dinner and things by about 6 or 7 p.m. So then that leaves this nice window that I was desperately looking for,
Nice.
um, to either work on projects or just relax with my girlfriend. Um, so now the next thing that I need help with is my production
Ooh.
company website. So that's kind of been this lingering thing of I've been working on other projects, so I haven't been able to touch it yet. And I feel like just getting help on starting it would help roll the ball for me. And really, this is my biggest thing is like, that's the next thing is launching my production company more properly and updating it because it's definitely old. It's very old. So yeah.
Cool, man. So let me say this back to you, and then we're going to dive in. You want
Yeah.
to work on a website for your production company, and there's a lot of elements that we're going to untangle that you've got to work
Thank
through
you.
in order to in order to get started. And so you already kind of are bringing a goal of like get started on the website.
Yeah, just get things rolling.
Nice.
Yeah, just to get things rolling. And I'm not the best with website development, so I know Peter over here is pretty good at web development. So I was hoping
Cool.
maybe I could get some pointers. I can give you login info, and you could like show me what you would do, or if I can get feedback from people. Because really,
Sure.
this is the biggest thing for me. I know other people may have like with time management to eat healthier or to exercise and do things like that. I've already made it past that stage, so I'm good there. Now it's like professionally, this is the like next anxiety thing that I need help with. I've dialed
Nice,
in my
man.
sleep, the exercise and the foods. Now it's this is the next step for me. So
That's great to hear. I mean, so first, let's kind of celebrate the wins, right? Rad that you've got this sort of like exercise, sleep, and diet routine that's working for you. That's really great to hear. It's also great to hear just because, I know we worked on that a bit back in the day. I think at this point now, we worked together like a year ago, and we were
yeah.
working with a program. We call it Beyond You. And for context of anyone listening on the recording, and also for Eric, is Beyond You. We pulled the pieces out of this from Beyond You and realizing, like, I don't know if you even noticed how many time-related components there were, Chad. We're like, oh, okay, well, if we just make it explicitly about time, it's much more focused and it's easier to deliver. So that's how
Yeah.
we came to this system. So speaking of the system, let's dive in. So it all starts with the 5 years, just to bring in the lore. And the 5 years is an acronym. U, it starts with you, and this is where we're starting, right? So where are you today? You can do this kind of like just as a check-in as well. How am I doing? How's it going? Being honest, like, oh, how am I doing with this stuff? It's really good to check in with yourself as you're starting a journey for 2 reasons. One is that now you'll know where you are. So how do you know where you're going to go if you don't know where you are, right? And 2 is it will give you something to compare against when you make progress. So you'll have like a measure of like, I feel bad right now. I'm going to do something, and then I'm going to observe, did it make me feel better? That's really simple to say, but when we go to do stuff, usually we actually invert it. This is going to make me feel good. I'm going to do it. I still don't feel good. That's my problem. Wait a second. We missed something. I'm going to do something and I'm going to check if it works. Not this works. Let me do it. Something's wrong with me when it doesn't. We're inverting this weird, I call it the fundamental aggression that we direct at ourselves. Okay, so then we're moving on to E. So years, YEARS, are the elements. And these are the components that we're going to use to create change, right? To do the alchemy. And the elements lead into the alchemist. This is who we want to be, like who we are inside, the person that we want to be, the person that we will become, the person that we kind of know already is in there, bringing it out. So there's you transforming into the alchemist by reordering or reprioritizing the elements. So we're organizing the elements into a format that we can digest and then execute on by limiting scope, actually. So focusing is part of the reordering step. And then lastly, we come up with a strategy, and S is the strategy. Those are the 5 years, YEARS. So let's dive in. You have some of the elements. right now we're starting with a goal. You want to work on a website, right? What are you hoping to do with this website?
Ideally, just get more clients.
Okay.
The easy, short and sweet part of it.
Where do most of your clients come from these days?
I would say from local businesses.
Okay. So, and do you want to keep working with local businesses?
Yeah, I love them. Love it. But would like to move more remote.
Okay. So broaden your scope. So you're working head to toe of California. I know you work out of California rather than just the belly or whatever, the heart, maybe
Yeah.
the heart central.
I like the belly.
All right. Excellent. And this might be kind of a hard question, which is what has convinced you that working on the website is the thing that will get you more clients? Right.
Most people that I see in my field have a really slick website with like
Nice.
their portfolio work, and everything. And mine hasn't been updated since like probably 2015. So it's 9 years old. She needs a solid update. I have a lot of assets to add to it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it can be a little overwhelming with how many different ways to go about it. So I have learned just chipping away at small steps incrementally is the best than trying to tackle
Cool.
all of it at once.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you asked for me to, take a look and give me login and stuff. I'm totally willing to take a look, but I don't think me doing it is actually even going to be helpful for you. Just as a note, I think what
I
would
think
be
it's going to be very helpful. I think it'll be the best. It'll be the best use of this time for me.
Well, just the best use of this time would be me looking at your current website and being critical of it.
The best use would be if I gave you the login info, and then if you're like, this is what could be fixed, and then also give me pointers. You could do as much or as little as you would like, but
So
for the audience, Peter has a pretty decent amount of software development behind him, and he's quite nifty with sites, which is
so what I'm getting at
why
is
I figured this could help.
What I'm getting
because
at
I'm
is,
trash at building websites.
we can take a look, but what I'm getting at is there's a theme I'm seeing in this narrative, right? So like you're missing something, you're comparing your business to other businesses, and you've convinced yourself that the first thing to do is to build a website, right? And the goal is to get clients. So here's another question. Have you gotten clients with the website that you currently have?
I've gotten a few, yes. And then I could have gotten a wedding that would have paid about $3,000, but I think because the website was kind of broken and not updated, they chose not to go with me. So
Cool.
It's like it has a 50% chance from what I've seen over the past few months of either landing someone because they like one niche like video or like one or two things that I did, or someone is just kind of like disgusted by it and I just don't get anything back, or they're like, we chose to go with someone else, which is fine.
We're gonna address the website. I promise we will address the website directly. But there's something that I can see that I think you're not seeing around this website, which I think would be very useful for you and the audience to pick apart, which is the elements, right? And then reordering your priorities. Because to me, while yes, you definitely need a new website, and that's great. And yeah, Eric, you can dig in and we can do a teardown on the website for sure. Let's do that in like 5 minutes. But I want to dig into this first before we start actually executing. We need to make sure that what we're executing on is going to be sustainably valuable into the future. Because what could happen, Chad, is we go in and give you a bunch of pointers, and we're not going to be able to finish your website in this call, right? Like that seems unlikely. And so then you're going to regress back to, is what my fear is, feeling bad that you don't have a finished website, knowing like what you can do. No?
No, this will be the fantastic start to help. This will be like, this is like getting the ball rolling for me.
All right.
I just need a little push. I definitely like, this is gonna provide infinite happiness and things to me.
All right, man. Let's do it then. Let's dig into the website, and I'll weave in the progress past it of how you're going to be able to execute and maintain on the website. So first, maybe send me a link, and I can screen share.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, I can chime in a bit too. I'm not familiar with your web dev experience, but I've had really good luck with Webflow. If you just want to get a simple website up, and so they have this program called the Webflow Experts program. So if you're familiar with like CSS and like basic web dev stuff, you basically take a test, and then you'd build a website, which you can buy a template and then customize it to your own
I
portfolio
use
to get
Wix,
something up quick.
so I'm like
Okay.
a Wix and Squarespace kind of guy. I'm super scrub.
Okay. So Wix has a similar program, right? I used them for a while too before moving into Webflow as the experts program. I mean, either way, it can't hurt to join the Webflow experts program, because then your portfolio ends up in this catalog of people in your area, people looking for web developers, and then you'll just get pinged with, hey, a client is looking for this with this budget range, this timeline, and then you can choose to accept or reject it. And it was pretty,
Okay.
if you have like the basic fundamentals for web dev, it's pretty easy to get into.
What are basic fundamentals? Knowing how to code.
No, so you don't even have to know how to code. It's more about knowing stuff like the CSS, like Gridbox, like it's like all the stuff in Webflow, basically.
I don't know any of that.
Oh,
All
well,
I know
in that case,
is how to
Webflow,
do templates, drag and drop, put in some plugins.
Okay. Well, so another cool thing about Webflow that I really like, I haven't come back to Wix in a while. I've
Very
heard
basic.
they've really upped it since I've last, that's years ago. But Webflow has the most incredible tutorials I've ever seen. Like, they are so well done. They're like production quality, like movie, like they're entertaining, humorous. They're really fun to watch. And they give you like a whole path to go through. Like, I remember
Okay.
one of the comments on one of the YouTube videos saying something like, these tutorials are more entertaining than Netflix.
So I'm gonna jump in. I don't think the problem has to do with web development. I'll be direct. But we can tear apart your site to get the momentum going. I'm gonna do let's call it a 30-second teardown. And this is all recorded, so you don't have to write it down, Chad. I'm going to go really quickly. Number one, I don't know what the site is doing because I can't see the title. Number two, I see these blocks: videography, aerial, DJ, sound, and photography, but I don't know, again, what is doing this or who is doing this. I scroll down and I see blocks with a showcase. Okay, that's good. I expect that if I click on them, it's going to take me somewhere, and it doesn't. And then finally, I have these videos with no context that I think play. Yeah, and they open up a whole viewing thing, but it's not apparent that that's what they do. Lastly, our story, at least in my aspect ratio, shows your beautiful Adam's apple, and then a little block. We founded Lemon Media. So, recommendations. Use a template for specifically showcasing one of these things, not all of them. And you can say, well, I'm gonna showcase videography, and then you can show, don't tell people with videos of you DJing. Well, look, I took this video with my team of me DJing. If you're interested in those, it's an add-on to your core offering. So whatever your core offering is, that's what it is. Throw pretty much everything else out and just use the simplest template. But we're going to get into the meta problem, okay? Because I think it's really easy to solve this specific problem. It would be very easy for me to build a website for you. And this is what I was getting at, Chad. It's very easy for Eric even to build you a Webflow thing. But what if Eric and I got shot in the street and you needed us to help you, fix your website? It's not tenable. And unless you've got a budget to like hire somebody to maintain a website, you've got a chicken and an egg problem, right? which is that you need to get some clients to then allocate a budget towards this web development that you need. And web development is not the problem. I'm going to be more blunt now because I was asking to try to get you to recognize that. Web development is not the problem.
Yeah.
So let's find the core of the problem. What is the pattern? What do you feel when you look at this website?
Oh, it's outdated.
Okay, what is that? That's not a feeling. That's a statement. Yeah, I agree. It's outdated. How does that make you feel?
Sucky.
Yeah, lame, right? It's a lame feeling. Okay. And where is that suckiness directed? This is rhetorical in a way, because I mean, I think we all in the call can see that, but like where are you directing that bad feeling?
I guess probably towards myself.
Right? So just to obliterate this, like maybe like a magic trick, Eric, do you feel bad about Chad looking at his bad website?
I mean, I feel a little bummed that he feels bad about it.
Do you feel bad towards him? Are you like, man, Chad sucks when you look at this website?
Oh, no, not at all. I just wish he didn't feel bad about it.
See that? So the reason I asked you, thank you, Eric. The reason I asked you, Chad, how you feel about yourself is that what we have is a delusion that we just identified. And we have a delusion around your identity, Chad, your personality, who you think you are. It's very deep. And it's like, whoa, we got there really, really quickly because you feel bad about a thing that you built or that someone built for you or you built with. And there's like a what's stopping you from working on it? What I'm seeing, right? I'm just jumping right to the points now, is not that it needs to be better. That's not the thing stopping you, or that it's hard to work on. I've seen you work through really hard things before. Like I know what you're capable of. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so blunt with you, right?
Yeah.
If I thought you were soft, I wouldn't be saying all of this stuff that's kind of harsh, right? And look at what happened when I asked another rational person, like, hey, you see a website, how do you feel about the person who made it? And it's like, I feel bad that they feel bad, not, oh, they suck, right? Do you see the gap in realities here? There's two realities we just observed.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're not going to fix the website. We're going to work on that self-aggression a little bit because I think that it's upstream of the website. And my hope is, okay, that if we work on the self-aggression and we work on it in a structured way, similar to how we work here, it's like time focused. So we're looking for the time to work on this. Then the website is like, it's almost going to like magically build itself. Like, I know that sounds wooey or something, but are you willing to like play this game with me, Chad?
Yes, I'll play the game.
Do you have some resistance?
I mean, that's why I carved out this hour, was to hopefully get some help on the site. I don't have any resentment to myself for anything.
Okay.
I haven't had time yet because I'm still working on projects. So I was hoping to maybe get somewhere.
All right.
Just with this site.
Let's also accomplish that. What is a reasonable thing to accomplish in 34 minutes towards your site? What outcome did you hope to have in 1 hour of working on the site?
Dude, I'll take anything. Maybe the header. It looks like my header is busted on this. There used to be things that you could click for like videography, aerial, DJ sound, photo, and then packages. But I tried fixing it. I tried updating it a few weeks ago and I think I broke it. So it looks broken. Okay.
How much time, how much, like, look at this, right? So why is it broken?
Because I tried updating it, but I clearly that top piece used to be the background, but it didn't look. I wanted to change that, and I just messed up.
Okay.
And I shipped it too, so it's live.
All right, so we can start on a website. You want to use Wix. I'm gonna start fresh rather than doing your current thing, right? I don't think I even have an account on Sofnot, so I will show you how easy it is to do in like 10 minutes. I'm attempting to demonstrate that this is
well, yeah, it's super easy to do on a fresh site. But I sent you my login info.
Did you hear what you just said, Chad? That's
It's
the
way
problem.
It's way easier on a fresh site.
So
Do you
what's the issue? I guess.
The issue is using the bones of what's already been put into the site that's already has like tons of hours on it. It would be like if you were to scrap your Alchemist site right now or your Sophonaut site and then try to start on a new
Okay.
one. You
What is worth? What is?
would that make more sense to you to scrap your sites and start over, or to just use your current sites that you already have and like beef it up?
I'm advocating for you scrapping this entirely and starting over, because while there's hours in it right now, you tell me what you want to recover from this, right? You're coming with a very firm concept of how to accomplish this goal, Chad, and that's what I'm feeling resistance from. And that firm concept, and I'm going to be very blunt with you, right? As direct as you're being with me, is it's limiting you and stopping you from having the website that you want. That's the self-limiting belief. You are not being flexible with the execution at all. You're like, it's got to be this site, and it's got to because there's a lot of hours in it. But then see, once again, there's this contradiction. There's so many hours in it, but it looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
So it's going to take more hours to fix than to create a
Then
new
to
site,
just start a new one.
which you said, not me. You said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm being like, as your agitation increases and you're like, I only have an hour to work on my site. I'm like, you have an hour to work on Chad.
All right. So it looks like I got to just use a template.
Why is that
template.
why is what, see, let's attend to this. Why does that suck in your mind? What hurts about that?
That I feel like it's gonna take more time.
Great. That's
But
a feeling.
yeah.
Can we pull out, right? We're in the middle. We're going to pull back, right? There's two levels we're working on. There's the website level, and then there's the Chad level. I'm interested in the Chad level, always interested in the Chad level. I don't care about your website. I care about Chad succeeding. And I don't think Chad needs a website to succeed, but Chad thinks Chad needs a website to succeed. So let's get the website fucking pumping, right?
Yeah.
So
Or, I mean, or how would you recommend then, if you don't think the website's important, if when I approach people, when I show them my work?
So let's I'm going to pause on the website. That's a great question. Okay.
Yeah. Because
We're
my
gonna
whole
go back-
business and job in life is video editing, photo,
Perfect.
sound production, and things of that nature.
Do you have a tendency historically to make things harder on yourself than they need to be?
No, I try to make things very simple. And I keep the bar extremely low so that when
Okay.
I go over the bar, it feels great. I don't
Great.
set very high expectations that are unattainable. Much like the previous startup that I worked at, they had these ridiculous goals that were unattainable, and
Yeah.
they would try to shoot for a 10x. Their
Okay.
favorite buzzword was let's 10x these things.
10x these things. All right, let's not 10x. Let's 10%.
I'm just trying to
increase in value.
I'm trying to marginally increase and set very low bars so that I
Excellent.
can just keep hitting those.
Excellent. So let's ground ourselves in what elements we have here. All right. Number one,
Okay.
we've got a business that you want to promote. Number two, we've got a website that's going to help promote it. What is the website for, though, is actually more important. Three, the portfolio. Right, the portfolio. Okay. Portfolio. Okay. Number four is, we haven't set yet, the timeline. Okay. So by when do you want this done? And
I'd say,
maybe
I'd say
even
2
add why.
months.
2 months.
2 months is
Yeah.
pretty good.
And what's done in 2 months?
A fresh website that I will use a template from. I will just use templates.
Before we get into the solution, remember, like maybe it's a website in 2 months. I'm not going to take that away from you, but what is the purpose of the website?
To show my work in a like modern and pretty way.
Nice. So in 2 months, you're going to have a place. We'll say it's a website for now, but I'm just trying to show you how flexible I am in accomplishing the goal,
Okay.
that you can show your work in a pretty way. How will you know you've succeeded at showing your work in a pretty way?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think it'll have all of my best work that I feel is my best work over the last couple of years. So just
Okay.
highlighting some of my best work. I will probably run it by friends and family and get second inputs on things. And then after that, I can imagine that I will think that it's pretty much as good as it can be. If I
Nice.
think it's good, I run it by people that I trust. They think it's good,
Great.
and it'll just be feedback maybe from whoever I interact with from there
2
on. If
months.
they're like,
2 months is plenty of time.
yeah,
What is this website supposed to do, or what is this portfolio supposed to do?
it's supposed to highlight my skills in a. We'll just keep going with pretty in a pretty way.
To to whom?
Uh, to potential clients,
So they will do what?
purchase a package.
Boom. Do you see a little bit of disconnect here?
No,
Okay. So when I'm asking you what the website's for, you say it's for purchasing a package. But when you're setting yourself
Mhm,
up for measuring the success of the website, you said
mhm,
it's going to be my best and my friends and family approve of it.
yes,
Here's the problem with that. You've set yourself up to spend 2 months working on a website that doesn't get in front of clients until your friends and family approve of it. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to do that. That's the words if
yeah,
I like line them up, right?
sure, yeah.
Is there a way that you could think to solve that problem?
I mean, I could just do it up to my standards, and then that would be fine.
Cool.
Definitely be
All right.
better than where it's at now.
And then what, right? After it's up to your standards.
Well, then I can prance that thing around to everyone, to all businesses that I talk with, and be like, "Here's all my work. Check it out.
And what's going to
Check it
happen when
all out."
what's going to happen in your mind right now when a business sees all your work?
They're just going to keep looking and be like, "Hey, we like what you did here. Can you do X for us? Something similar."
And pay you money to do that thing.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
And ultimately, pay me money to do the thing.
Right? Maybe
Yeah.
you're not saying it because it's obvious, or maybe you're not saying it because you have this sticking point that's a website. But I really want you to change your focus, not to be on this like project that leads to the project. You like build a
Uh-huh.
bridge, build a bridge, build a bridge. It's like, no, we're just trying to get across this chasm. You just want to be on the other side. We're not bridge builders. That's not our business. We're not website builders. We're travelers. We're explorers. We're forging ahead. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the 2 month goal. All right. And I think it's pretty well fleshed out. And you've got the right view, which is as easy and as low bar as possible. Okay. And you've got my recommendation is a focusing exercise. So what is the number one priority activity that you'd like to work on, like in a distribution? So you had videography, aerial, DJ and sound, and photography. If you had to gun to your head pick one, what would it be?
Maybe just do video.
Okay. You can do all of the others, of course, right? But I want you to start thinking what I do is one thing. And it's not for you, it's for that C word that you kept not saying.
The client.
That's right. Customers.
Client. Yeah. The C word.
I know I'm being cheeky. It's the client, right? You want the client to have as easy of an experience figuring out what they're going to navigate when they get into the Chad Lamont brand as you as easy it is for you to make the product. You want them to know how easy it is for them to receive the product, right? Maybe even easier for them to receive than for how easy it is for you to execute effectively. Okay, so we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at the time components of this. okay? Because we're doing Time Alchemy. And we're going to look at all of these elements. We're going to order them. Number one, right? Videography. That's your core offering. And everything else, aerial, DJ, sound, photography, that's going to be add-ons. Okay. This is just a mentality shift for you. And so when you're talking to potential clients, you can say, well, I do videography. We also offer add-ons, aerial, DJ, sound, photography. Right. And then if someone's like, do you only do DJ and sound? Sure, we could put a package together, but you're starting a conversation. Two is, I recommend you start fresh and maybe, this is just a maybe here, you don't even need a website to start. chadlamont.com could go to a Vimeo playlist, which, by the way, I have had successful wedding photographers and videographers do that. Now, I know your competition has these lit websites, but I would ask myself, do I need a lit website in order to get the next client, right? And if the answer is yes, you've determined that, maybe that's the answer.
No, not necessarily. Like the hard thing is that it's not just one service that I have to offer. So I imagined the website encompassing everything, but this wouldn't be the first time that I've heard that it's too much to put in to one site. So yeah.
The exercise here in your case, right, is that you're losing time to a website that doesn't work in converting. And you said in this call that the website put people off. So you got them to the point where they were like, had a relationship with you, maybe even excited. And all they needed to know is, can my dude film this thing or take a photo or do the DJing? And you're like, look at this crap. And they're like, well, right. So it worked against you. I'm sorry for being mean about the website.
No, you're good.
I'm emphasizing that once again, directing the aggression towards yourself didn't fix the problem. Directing the aggression towards the website doesn't fix the problem, right? And so even though the website's bad, Chad can be good. Chad can be totally fine, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So what I want to do,
right.
I want to come up with a plan, a strategy rather, for how we're going to end up with what you want to do, not in 2 months, but in 2 weeks. We're going to accomplish this goal in 2 weeks. Okay. And we're going to go straight to the advanced stuff, and we're going to do it in 5 minutes. We're going to come up with a plan that you can execute across in 5 minutes.
All right.
All right. So you tell me what could you get done in not even 2 weeks, in 1 week? What could get done in 1 week towards this?
A basic video landing page.
That sounds like a lot of work, right? But let's do it. Okay, a basic video landing page. What needs to go on this website?
Video assets and package pricing.
Okay. Do you already have those things?
Yes.
Great. So you have video assets and you have package pricing for a website that does what?
For a website that hopefully converts.
Well, let's not hope. Let's measure. Okay. So we want a website that we could, like, the most basic version that measurably converts in 1 week, right? So we want a converting website in 1 week. Does that sound good? Like, oh, you had a 2-month plan. Now, like, wait, we're actually getting the point. Like, clients in a week.
Yeah, that would be great. It would be a lot of work because I'm working on a project right now that's consuming my 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. window. So
Perfect.
that's where I'd have about a week left on it.
All right. Well, so maybe we'll make it 2 weeks, but you start in a week. That's okay. But that's exactly what we're working on here, is the when, right? Okay. So tell me about when you have a 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. block, you said?
Yeah.
Is that the only time that you can work on this?
Yeah, because I get back from I get home from the gym at about 6 and then wrap up with dinner by about 7.
Okay, so 7 to 8 p.m. is your block of time that you could work on this?
About 7 to 10. And
7
right
to
now
10?
the 7 to 10 is being eaten up right now.
Okay, and that wraps up what date?
Next Monday.
Okay, sweet. So you can start this on Tuesday of next week. All right. And what are you, I'm sure you have some free time. What can you do from now until Tuesday in even less time? Even less time, 1 week from today, what could you do? What are the necessary elements in 2 weeks to have a landing page set up that showcases just your videography and the pricing for just the videography to start?
Some of my best assets, dial in my package pricing, and then just slowly start the site.
Okay, great. Let's not even start the site till next Tuesday.
Okay.
How are you going to work on selecting assets?
I'm gonna go through the latest work that I've done and cherry pick some of my personal favorites that I feel
Sweet.
best demonstrate and highlight my work in a really pretty way.
Great. All right, now we're getting into the measurable part. How many assets are you going to select?
I mean, how many do you think I should select? How many, if you were to get somebody in my field, like maybe for your wedding, say, when you were looking at stuff, looking at your photographers, your videographers, and your DJs for your wedding, how many things did you look at until you were like, this person?
I don't think that's how I made the decision, right? I was figuring out what it would be like to work with this person and can they do the job.
So how
So
did
it's
you?
not
So tell me about that flow, because that'll help in turn help me.
great. So rather than I will tell you, but I think that this is what I'm getting at is you're asking the right questions, Chad. We're going to figure out a system so that you're not asking just me, but you're asking potential clients. So this is where this is what we're heading towards, right? This is the system. We're going to create a habit of you not building websites, but building a business, right? And the website just serves the business. In fact, it's a distraction until it serves the business. And so that's the habit we're building here. And that's what I was hinting at this whole time is it's a frame shift a little bit. You know your business. You know it well. You know it better than me. And you know who you've served before and you know how much they've paid. So you know better than asking me why I would purchase someone else's service. What? And you know what I'm going to say, right?
No.
You can ask the people that paid you why they paid you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then check this out, write it down and put it on a website. This is why I paid Chad. So when someone like me is looking for Chad, like, why would I pay Chad? Oh, Frank, business owner in California, in Central Coast, California. He owns a winery. I own a I don't know, beer making place. What are those? Brewery, right? I want to showcase my beer. He's already showcased wine. Frank, the wine guy, said, Chad, film these vineyards so well, right? I bet he could do that with barrels. Do you see what you're doing? You're creating an analogy in your client's mind that they can then just latch onto and go, this guy's the guy that can do it because he's done it.
Okay.
See how that like doesn't even require video assets. It's just building trust.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is what I mean by flexible execution. So we need a easy to achieve goal in 1 week. We need a strict definition of success. And then I think your challenge, Chad, is the flexible execution. You're being really hard on yourself about like how this has got to get done. Very, very much like this is it, this is it, this is it. But do you see how that's kind of hurting you?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see how it's kind of hurting me.
Okay. Do you want to say more about that, or you're like, you leave that part?
I mean, yeah, I more gravitate towards the idea of a flexible execution. That makes the most sense to me, is being more flexible in the execution. But you also have to realize that people in my field have some website or like something that shows and highlights their work. So that's really what I ultimately need to get at.
We're absolutely going to get that. I've been trying to reiterate, like,
Yeah.
yes, we're going to get that. We're absolutely going to get that. And are you familiar with
Yeah.
survivorship bias?
No.
Okay, this is a really useful concept for you. Survivorship bias comes from World War II. Planes were coming back with bullet patterns in their wings, but not their holes. And so people were like, great. What this means is that, like, we're going to reinforce the wings because they're getting shot more. But the problem was the planes that were getting shot in the holes were not coming back. So the opposite thing needed to happen. The hull needed to get reinforced, not the wings.
Mm.
So you're looking at websites from successful videographers, right? And you're like, I need to do exactly that. But they've already got clients, right? And then they're like using the website to showcase the clients. So I'm not saying, and I never have said, that we're not going to build a portfolio. And I'll even, outside of this call, help you put the website together. I know that's what you like really came here for and really want. Of course, I'll help you do that. But I wanted to use this time to point to this mindset and the framework that you're bringing to how you accomplish that. That's all I've been doing this whole time, is pointing at, hey, look at this. This is not going to do what you think it's going to do, right? It's close, but it's not quite there. You feel me?
Gotcha. Oh yeah.
Cool. All right, cool. So you tell me, we've got a 1 week goal, and then you're advanced, so we're going to do a 1 week and a 2 week. And you tell me the numbers you're going to measure, what you're going to get done by the first week, what you're going to have done by the second week, with a strict definition. And then we don't even have to talk about execution. We'll keep the execution flexible.
Okay. So what we're going to get done in the first week is have 10 marketable assets that are polished
Nice.
and good to go. And then also have packages dialed for video.
Cool.
And then I would say on the second week, start some flexible execution of either a website or whatever else
Sure.
is
What
flexible.
What's measurable in the second week? Like, what's the thing that can be done by the second week?
I send it to an employer on LinkedIn and they reach out to me and they want to talk
Okay, well,
because
so
they
that's
are interested in what I have to offer.
nice. That's an outcome, which is like you've got a conversion, but we don't know if it converts yet. How can
That's
we?
fine. If they just reach out, if I just get people reaching out saying, hey, this is slick, want to talk more, that to me is an accomplishment. The bar is low.
My point is, that's a conversion, is getting a response, right? So we're going to go one step before the conversion. How are you going to measure your outreach? And then how are you going to measure the conversions of responses?
That's like the golden question, dude. I don't know.
You tell me. Come up with some ideas. Brainstorm. You can make it up.
I feel like that would be and my brain's broken now. I don't know what would be the half step back. I think I need help. Can I call on an audience member?
Yeah, I can jump in, which is, why don't you just say, I'm going to send 10 messages or 100 messages, and then you can measure how many responses you get.
Because I already do that. So I guess that could be.
Well, so if you're already doing that, what's the conversion rate, Chad?
It's not much on LinkedIn, dude.
What's the percentage?
Well, depends. I get responses, but some of them will be like, sorry, we're not going to move forward with you going forward. I would say that legit response rate is like 10%, the 10% conversion.
That's really good. So conversion to response is 10%. And now we're going to have a portfolio that's going to take that 10% and try to convert some percentage of that to paying customers, right?
Yeah.
So we're building a funnel here. Now, we're not going to have time in this call to build a whole funnel, but that's where this is going, right? That's that change from I need a website because putting people off to, oh, wait, I'm a business owner. If I send 1,000 messages, I can expect 10% of them to respond. And then as we start to build the portfolio, we're going to see, well, out of those people who respond, who clicks on the portfolio. And then we're going to see out of the people who click on the portfolio, how many even want the service. And then out of that number, who ultimately purchases. And when you have that funnel fully built, theoretically, all you have to do is send more messages. But if you don't have the funnel, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're like, okay, well, I send a message and I have a low conversion rate, but I'm not observing where those people are going, how they're flowing through the path. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
That makes all the sense.
How are you? I've been more harsh and critical than I think I've ever been in one of these, but I was doing it as on purpose. I want to make sure you're
I'm
good.
doing great.
Okay.
I'm doing great. I'm out here in the sunshine, out in nature.
Nice.
Daddy's doing good out here.
All right. Let's open this up to open discussion for a few minutes. Tyler, do you have anything to add first before I move into Q&A?
No, I think what you guys were talking about is spot on, right? It's yeah, flexible with execution, but also breaking apart. Another way to say what Peter said is breaking apart like the constituent components of what those successful videographers or whatever you want to call them have done in their website, right? So going to getting essentially like the short version, getting client testimonials it's not just about testimonial, it's about getting feedback on what you dominate at, and then that's how you filter what you put on the site. That goes into like which of those assets you even want to choose to polish, because maybe they actually like something a lot different or outside of your view than you really like, right? Because an artist's eye might not be as the same as the person that visits the museum, right?
Yep. At 100%. Okay, so you're saying, Tyler, could you repeat that? Can you summarize that?
Yeah, and we can I mean you'll get this recording and we can share notes too. But
Yeah.
what Peter was saying is break apart the constituent like components of these successful competitors' sites to the level where you're talking to your clients not just for their testimonial, but for them to basically guide your asset gathering process, because they'll tell you the best parts that they liked about it. And it'll likely converge on something. I highly doubt if you talk to 10 clients, it'll all be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it'll all be different things. I imagine it'll be something similar.
Okay.
So turns into testimonials that people love to see on sites, establishes trust, right? That standard stuff. But more importantly, it guides the creation of the site, if the site's going to be the thing, right? It guides the creation of whatever it is.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Open convo. Eric, I don't know if you want to chime in or if you've got thoughts or questions coming up either, but yeah, we're open for business. A few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, just a few things came to mind. I mean, not to rag on your website more, but I feel like a 10% response rate with your current website is actually pretty high, I would guess. So if you get that revamped,
I'm not even showing them the website, so I'm using like just a basic resume.
Well, still, like even without the website. So,
and I feel like that's why the response rate has been low, is because I don't have a link linking to all the work, especially in my field. I feel like that's, if you don't have work to show, then
but the point I was getting at is like, given the circumstances, I feel like that's still relatively high. Just to give you hope, it'd be even higher once you get the website. And so I didn't realize that. So your main focus is more production than web development.
Yes, zero web development.
So for sure, just do the template, dude. Just I know that I can relate to the feeling of I put so many hours into this and I don't want to just get rid of it. But you kind of just take into mind like all those hours for piecing together. You have all your assets now that you want on your site. Which that's one of the hardest pieces, is getting that together. You have like the layout you want, but if your main thing isn't doing web development, who cares if you use a template? You just want to showcase your portfolio, get something that does that effectively. And here, I'll share a link. There's this practice in Buddhism. Have you heard of a sand mandala?
I have heard of Sand Mandala. I forget what it is though.
So it's those really intricate patterns that these monks will create out of sand, and it's just beautiful and looks like something that should be preserved forever. But the whole practice is about non-attachment, and so once it's finished, they then just wash it away downstream, which is just
Oh, wow.
mind-boggling to me when you see how intricate they are, that they put all that time into it and then just erase it. So I think you're overestimating how much time it's going to take to redo the site from scratch by orders of magnitude, for sure. You're gonna spend way more time trying to tweak your current website than you would just starting over. I can guarantee you that, and you're gonna get a way better product. It's gonna be way more modern. Yeah, I think those are the two things I just wanted to point out. Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good. Thanks for all the feedback, guys. I think being flexible in the execution, just doing a template and getting to rocking and rolling will be the first of the objectives.
Excellent.
For the first week.
And we've got it concrete, right? So you remind me what the goal is and when we're gonna measure.
I think it was the first week is just going to be dialing in packages and then pooling together the best assets, and then week 2 is going to be slapping those in a template.
You want to come back in a week and we can take a look at what you got, and you can show off the 10 assets. I mean, it's on record, right?
Let's do that. Yeah, it's on.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thanks for playing, Chad. Hopefully this was helpful. I know we didn't build a new website in an hour, but text me. I can help you pick a template, and we can probably get the whole website built in a week. But
yeah,
I think getting the assets selected is actually harder than building the entire website.
One of my favorite quotes is, "A problem well stated is half solved." So you just solved half the problem today.
Nice. Let's go.
All right. All right, guys. We got these Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you want more, come on through Thursday. That was going to be a presentation and then just a Q&A. So last time we did do one of these sessions just because it came up, but we're going to try to move towards just like a presentation Q&A format. So thanks very much, guys. I will catch you next time.
Thanks so much.
Cheers. Peace, guys.
Bye-bye.